I'm here to demonstrate to the people of Manitoba. I'm going to every province to point out that you're being ripped off by your Attorney General. Marijuana has been stricken from the law for 2 years, and in that time, up to 5,000 Manitobans have been arrested, detained for possession of marijuana, for cultivation of marijuana, for the sale of marijuana, and I believe all those things are completely illegal.
Are you expecting to get arrested?
I'm expecting to get arrested, yes.
Why are you hoping to get arrested?
Because I have to get arrested. I just need to be charged by the Crown Attorney in order to get before a magistrate. It's important that I explain to a judge that marijuana is no longer in the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act, and that in fact people are entitled to possess marijuana, they're entitled to smoke marijuana anywhere in Canada, and this is a law that was not appealed by the federal government when they were ordered to change the law. They failed to do so, and on August 1st,
do the doctors know about this?
well, the doctors are going to feel, because they have to collect the money as well, they have to hold a jar of marijuana for the client. And also, how often is this person going to have to come to the doctor? He's going to buy 1 gram a day or 2 grams a day? The doctor's going to be very inconvenienced. And also, doctors are paid under a socialized medical program for their time. So even if they spend 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes making this transaction of 1 or 2 or 5 grams of pot, the public is going to get billed $80 for that time. So it's going to be a very expensive bureaucracy. The government overpaid for the marijuana in the first place, so now they have to charge more than they ought to. And on top of which, it only applies to the 300 or 1,000 people who have medical marijuana exemptions in Canada, whereas 40 to 100,000 people probably could use medical marijuana, but it takes 8 months to see a specialist in a lot of provinces, and you need 2 doctors to sign your papers. Doctors have no therapeutic or scientific experience with marijuana and are not qualified. They don't know how to prescribe marijuana. They were never taught about marijuana in their school, medical school. They receive no information from the College of Physicians and Surgeons. They are right in saying that they're completely unqualified in prescribing marijuana because they know nothing about it. They've never seen any clinical test studies. They only know anecdotal evidence. Marijuana should be regarded like an herb, take as needed, and take in the quantity as needed, because no one knows a person's pain like the person suffering themselves. So the new regulations are fascinating. Just bear in mind though that the government's selling marijuana for $5 a gram, but they're appealing this decision. They want to overturn it so they don't have to distribute marijuana. Canada has had the worst health minister in many, many decades in Anne McClellan. She's a mean, mean person. She's contemptuous of medical marijuana people. She's contemptuous of the cannabis culture. 3 million Canadians smoke marijuana, and she has done as little as absolutely possible to accommodate us. There are more rates for growing pot than ever before right this year. Everybody knows it in every community, like in Manitoba. Manitoba is one of the largest producing provinces in Canada for marijuana. The National Post has a business magazine, and there's a 6-page article coming up in the weeks ahead outlining the business of marijuana. And Manitoba produces over $1.5 billion in marijuana. When you consider that the population of Manitoba is under 1.5 billion. Hey guys, try and handle those highs, eh?
10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
Drop your mic. You guys aren't going to dark on him, are you? Party says, leave him alone.
What the officers have said is that they plan to enforce the non-existent criminalization of marijuana. They claim that marijuana is still under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. They did say they are aware that in Ontario that there is no enforcement of the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act regarding cannabis, but they say in Manitoba they still will enforce it. Now this is wrong, but I do want to inform you that they say if you're here at 420 smoking marijuana, they have the authority to investigate you and arrest you and process you, is the term. And whether you're charged will be up to the Crown Attorney of Manitoba and the Attorney General's office. So you will have to take your chances if you follow my lead and smoke here, but I'm certainly going to be, I didn't come 1,000 or so miles to find out what I already know is that the Winnipeg police will arrest me and charge me and process me if I exercise the freedom that the courts of Canada have given me and have given you and are giving to all Canadians, and that judges throughout the country are beginning to in fact enforce. So the police officers are going away, and I suspect they'll be back with some reinforcements. So just so you know what you're up against, and just so I go out with flying colors. I brought my best pot from BC, and I believe there might be some joints rolling around the neighborhood that came from this very same plant, if you know anybody in the audience. What time is it? Does anybody have a count?
So Mark, do you have a lawyer?
16 after. Do I have a lawyer? No, I'm going to defend myself in all these cases. I've helped subsidize most of the law cases. I paid for the case that went to the Supreme Court of Canada, and the Supreme Court of Canada still has to weigh in on this.